What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Will Motivation. Back again. Let me get my seatbelt on. Back again with another video. Alright, let's go. We're in the Porsche 911 Carrera T. And it's a beautiful Sunday. Let me open up the sunroof, man. Get a little bit of light in here. Alright, so what are we talking about today? We are talking about two things I want to accomplish in this video on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Go Cowboys. Two things I want to talk about are, one, how to get your first real estate investment property, whether you want it to be a rental property or a flip. How to get your first one. I'm going to give you an example how I got my first one, and we're actually going to go do a little field trip. We're going to go see it right now. We're going to go see my first real estate investment property. And also, yeah, this Porsche is nice, man. Hold on. This thing sings, literally. This thing sings. You can hear, like, exhaust, man. Oh my gosh, this car is awesome. By the way, one of the reasons why I'm able to have this vehicle is through smart investments in real estate. But that's not the only thing we're going to do. We also went out and, once you start doing well, even before you start doing well, it's always important to have balance and to try to give back to others in the community where you live. And so one of the things that we did, and me and a couple of buddies of mine, we brought our cars out to a local high school to a special event. It was like a career day, and we talked to the kids at Whitehall Yearling High School here in Columbus, Ohio. It's a public school that it's a public school here where we talk to the kids about making good decisions, following their career path of choice, and just giving them some ideas and some options for their future. So that's going to be the second part of this video. So hopefully that inspires some other people to give back. And if you're in Central Ohio and you want to volunteer with me as I go out and do speaking engagements, talk to young people, take the cars out, that kind of thing, definitely get in touch with me at get@willmotivation.com via email. But all right, let's talk about getting your first real estate investment property. All right, so we're going to check out my first property. We're headed to the neighborhood right now. It's actually not far from where I currently live now. And I'm going to make a long story short on how to do this. But I believe the best way to get your first rental property or your first investment property is, and this is like a realistic way you can do it, if you don't have a whole lot of extra side income and that kind of thing, that is buy where you live. Where you live, buy it. A lot of people, when they get in a position to pay for where they live, to move out, whatever, graduate from college or whatever it is, a lot of people will rent an apartment, or they'll rent a house. Maybe they have roommates and you want to get the rent down on your house, so you got roommates, maybe something like that. Whatever the case, my recommendation is be a first-time home buyer and buy the place where you live. So this neighborhood that I'm in right now, this neighborhood is like a middle-class neighborhood in the east side of Columbus called Blacklick. It's a suburban neighborhood. It's a middle-class neighborhood with all types of first-time home buyers. And me personally, I moved down to this neighborhood. A realtor took me over here, showed me the neighborhood. It was close to where I work. I'm going to show you guys. For those on the other side, This is the neighborhood right here. So realtor brought me over here, showed me this neighborhood full of first-time home buyers. This was my very first home. So to answer the question, like, this is actually a video that's in response to people asking me the question of how to get your first rental property. This was my first home, and now is one of my first rental properties. Actually, probably you could say it was my first rental property. So here it is right here. Let me show you guys. Boom. That is my very first rental property. Let's turn around. This is a nice middle-class home. Take a look at it. Nice middle-class crib in the suburbs of Columbus, Ohio. I bought this house next door as well, eventually, not right away. But the point is, this is the smart and easy way to do it. You buy where you live. I needed a place to live, so instead of renting, I bought that home. I'm gonna do a little thumbnail as well. Hopefully I don't disturb anybody. But I bought that home, right? I lived there for probably 8 years, 7 or 8 years. I lived there. Then as I moved, I kept the property and rented it out. This became my first investment property. And while I lived there, of course, I used the house. And I'm going to try not to cause a disturbance here, but I'm going to try to get a picture for you guys. So I bought that crib. When I moved, I rented it out. And now this property, along with other properties in this same neighborhood, are properties in my real estate portfolio that I bought over time. But every single place that I lived or worked when I had my business, I purchased instead of renting. That way, when I'm finished with it, it becomes an investment property and something that I can rent out. So my advice to you, for those of you out there that are thinking about how to get your first rental property or first investment property, buy where you live. When you're ready to move, maybe you're getting a nicer house, a bigger house, or maybe you got to move for work or something like that. If you want to have an investment portfolio, you keep the first place you bought and it becomes a rental property. You rent it out, make a profit on how much you charge in rent. The other thing you can do, let's say you don't want to be a landlord or have a real estate portfolio, but you do want to make money investing in real estate. The other thing you can do is buy where you live. When you're ready to move, it becomes a flip. You can enhance it, you can improve it while you live there. After or ready, when you're ready to move. Hold on, man, we gotta put this thing in sport mode. Let's go. Got a little bit loose there. Yeah, this car is crazy. But yeah, like, you don't have to be a landlord, right? You don't have to own rental properties and do stuff exactly the way I'm doing it. You can flip the property. You can enhance it, improve it, and then let's say that house, for example, I bought for $160,000. Now that house, if I wanted to flip it or sell it for a profit, now that $160,000 house is worth over $300,000. So you want to get into real estate? That's the easiest way to do it, because you need a place to live. You're going to be paying, as a responsible adult, you're going to be paying for where you live anyway. You can always get roommates and that kind of thing if you need to. So why not buy where you live and then let that become your first investment property, whether you flip it later or whether you rent it out. Those are both good and solid investments, as long as you buy right in the right area. And my recommendation for that is, you might be asking me, well, how do I know the right place to buy or whatever? Well, you got to look at the area in the city that you're in. Is it a growing city, or is it at the verge or on the verge of dying? Or is it on the verge of blowing up and growing? If you're in a city that's growing, people are going to need housing, right? It's a basic necessity, food and housing. So if they're going to need housing as the city grows, then most likely the property is going to rise in value. So you want to pick a neighborhood that has room for growth and where there's going to be other houses being built, other houses being rehabbed, and the neighborhood going up in value based on the demand. I like to choose a strong middle class neighborhood or upper middle class neighborhood here in Ohio. That's what I like to do. That's my bread and butter. I don't really do low income housing. I'm starting to do a little bit of your expensive, like a couple of $1 million houses we're working on right now. So starting to do that, but you don't have to do it that way. You know, like I said, you can focus on middle class housing, but that is my number one recommendation for how to get it to investing in real estate. So we're getting ready to wash the Porsche. So if you like that 911 content, here it comes. All right, so just ran through the wash. Man, my PPF got nicked up a little bit on a road trip to Florida. Gotta get that fixed. But yeah, talking about real estate, man. How we get these nice cars and everything, man. We invest in real estate. So this video I want to share the easiest strategy for getting your first investment property. It's buying where you live. That's the easiest way. Now, if you're like, you know what, I already am buying where I live, you know, but what about when I want to get the second one or the third one faster? Well, one strategy, if you're already buying where you live, right, then let's say you've been there a few years and you've got a little bit of equity. Basically, the value of your home is more than what you paid for it, and you've been paying it down over a few years and getting the price lower. You can pull out equity of that property and use that money as a down payment on your next property. But I recommend, if you do that, you still always want to have enough money to do the rehab on the new property and cover the carrying costs, which are the expenses like the mortgage on the new property or whatever expenses come up while you're rehabbing to do either a flip or to buy and hold and get it rented out. So you want to be able to always have enough money to cover all of the costs. So you should always be saving up money, no matter what advice I give you or whatever. You should always be saving money if you want to get into investing in real estate, so you can cover your costs and expenses. But yeah, that's my recommendation. Now let's go share this car with the kids, man. Let's go do some meaningful work. So these are the students here at Whitehall Yearling High School. It's a public school here in Columbus, Ohio. We just got done having career day and talking to the kids about different career paths, and it was good. It was good. They had some really good questions for us. Hopefully it was good for them as well. But yeah, just the future generation right here. Gotta invest.
Give it to me good, bust a wine in the dance. Independent women, so you got no chance. No, stallion time on it wild with the pressure. Big man, I gotta give her with the stamina. Train out behind, watch her tick, watch her talk it. Dance all queen when she whine and catch it. Whoa. So girl, break me up with your bubble. Give me that sweet bubble. Girl, come break me up with your bubble. Give me with your bubble. Champion things with your bubble. No long things for your bubble. Champion bubble. Champion bubble. Champion bubble. Champion bubble. Champion bubble. Champion bubble.
So being
With your
driven,
bubble.
look at what you're doing at what stages in life. Being driven is just looking at the destination. You know what I'm saying? You have a goal. And then that time, it's not even gonna.
Y'all gonna be famous getting pictures with Miss Ohio? All right. So we're gonna take a picture with Miss Ohio. I didn't even know there was such a thing.
It's the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather. I'm here to tell you guys to go to Wheel Motivation. The exotic cars is crazy. I've been watching this show for a little while now and it's growing. But we need everybody else to subscribe to Wheel Motivation and support Will. I'm supporting them. You do the same.